last of a couple actual comments I received on my videos. I've decided to go through with something I've been planning on for a little bit now, which is essentially using my pretty, medium tier progressed Ironman account to take a bit of a nostalgia trip and do some of the things you would do back in the day when you were super ignorant about the game, etc. First thing, that would not be zooming out that far, of course, because that is not anything resembling what the game used to look like, of course. I'm trying to track down odds here to check my age. Yeah, I know, obviously, it's, a lot of people still playing the game now, have played for a while. It's a newish account, although I've spent some time on it. A lot of people who still play the game have been playing it for a very, very, very long time. And so they know this, but playing back in the day used to be so disorienting because, in a way, let's say you actually did get, actual NTSC, 27 frames per second on your monitor, whatever computer you were running it on. You were in a browser, you were fixed to this resolution, and you were fixed to a pretty shitty zoom scale, which, is located in your settings here. It isn't anymore, it looks, but that's okay. First thing, of course, take the cabbage, 1 HP. Never bad. You're gonna need something like this for a Black Knight Fortress. I believe there's one other Camelot quest line that has to deal with, a non-drink or cabbage, right? That can't be magic infused. So let's see, one of the first things I was told to do was mine some pure essences, so why don't we get ready to mine about an inventory of some nature essences in addition to some other old school activities. I really want to include farming, but honestly, farm back in the day, none of us who were too young really had the patience for something like that, and I would say we were very poor at it. Unfortunately, I cannot sound test the music myself, and I do not mean to repeat it. Oh boy. That's alright. First thing, let's get geared up. I'd pick some old school gear, but Dragon Blade legs, I suppose, pretty old school. When I played way back when, I'd say they were only a bit over 1 mil, which is expensive, but not bad. Nothing like the Dragon Chain, whose price I honestly cannot recall, but was, of course, a couple mil after, the nerf, and it became more of a cosmetic. I'm talking post-Barrows timeline here. No fancy boots, I actually lost them when I lost my hardcore status. Alright, so let's see. We'll take an axe, because of course, is now. I just want to teleport back to Lumbridge to start the journey, so to speak. Let's see how the ham top looks, and let's actually switch out for the mystic boots over the steel. No, that fashion suicide. What am I thinking? That's disgusting. I actually think, wow. As good as it looks, we need the classic outfit, of course. Although our weight is gonna suffer. I suppose I don't plan on running too much. So that's whatever. Let's see what else do we need here. If we're gonna be picking flags, we may as well. No grappling hook, of course. A couple of coins. Let's, modest. Let's, do what we do. Better yet, just the dragon dagger. Most of us did not have dragon scimitars at the time. I shouldn't say most of us, but people in my bracket of experience were not walking around with dragon scimitars. Fuck no. Okay, this is a lot of inventory space for pure essence run, so let's actually just kind of clean it up for now. And let's head out. So yeah, I don't have too much to talk about the game off the top of my head right now, other than how much quote unquote easier it is to play now for simple quality of life reasons. I mean, it's such a ridiculous difference here. We'll do it. We're running out of money. We want to get into Foot Salad territory. We're headed for Fairhawk. You know what? Actually, as much as I would like to take the nostalgic route, if we're going for true nostalgia, I'm sure a lot of us could relate to chopping ourselves a good old canoe and sailing to the Edgeville Ditch to the Grand Exchange. However, we're not going to do that. We don't want to head into the trade parade. It's a little bit too loud. So let's actually just sail to the Champions Field. Yep. Can't say that I have too much, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. You know, well, I certainly don't know. Clearly I had a thought there, and I was unable to develop it. Currently, I'm mainly just before I could focus on playing. And honestly, you know, I go through my periods of playing. I go through extended periods of relaxation where I do not play at all, and that's fine. The bulk, essentially all of the Iron Man progression on this account came from just one extended couple months of playing. And honestly, it was a great experience. I'm not saying I don't plan on taking this Iron Man account further than it is, which again is pretty far. I definitely got myself past a large hump, and it more or less feels like I'm playing on a regular account now, with the exception of lacking some quest points for some laziness reasons, and because I was so fixated on quests on my main account, as I do believe quests are essentially Let me light a stick of incense. Now, I suppose we will, oh, this is not a bot. Interesting name, though. It isn't. So, yeah, okay. What we'll do here is, walk to... One second here. Okay. What we're gonna do here is walk to Edgeville, and we're gonna take the fairy ring, even though that's not very nostalgic, because let's be honest, who was using fairy rings when we were young and dumb? I definitely wasn't. I don't even think I had access to fairy rings until old school Runescape was released in 2013, and, you know, I'm talking about being a veteran player. I actually logged on recently. Here, let's see. I logged on recently and onto my original account and added up the hours, and I posted it to a Discord. Let's see. One second. Yeah, let's run out of the trade parade quickly here. It's gonna be a little loud. Yeah, we're on World 302, so, you know, it's gonna be how it is. So let's run through this. Oops. Okay. This is not going as fast as I thought. There we go. 5,433 days ago for my main account. I did have an account before that, but it wasn't too long lasting, of course. The name of that account, though, was Jaws170. I won't finish those numbers, actually. Maybe you could figure out why, but yeah, I'll leave it as a Jaws17. And then some other numbers. And that was a good account, although I lent that out to my friend Cal. Maxwell Calloway Bond the Third. Where am I at here? Not DKP. CKR, yep, okay. But yeah, Max his own personal PK experimental playground. I'm really not sure, but every time I logged into it afterwards, and at this point I'm playing on KB Dog 1, of course, the king. The king. So I don't really care about the, the state of Jaws. But every time I log on, man, there's always weird configuration, weird stats. One time I logged on, he had like 7 items in his inventory, no money in the bank. Any money he had was in the inventory, like 1K. And I swear to God, the most profitable, the most of value item he had on him was a goddamn stack of like 41 rune darts P++. Like he's PKing with them, or I mean, there's no other reason to have anything like that. I mean, just I don't know. It's a funny story. And claws. That's the other thing. He had rune claws in his inventory. Like, man. Sorry about that. I had to splice the video. So now we're gonna take a house teleport, and let's see here. We wanna pick some flax, maybe cut down a couple maple trees. So what would be the quickest way of doing that? Back when I say we just walk. Although, the way I would have done it back when is I obviously would have taken the glider, but it's totally fine to take a really kind of, extended path down Taverley, catch a couple really good ASMR tracks in the game. Got a bit of a vibration going on my computer. Not exactly sure what that is about. Again, I wish all the agility highlights weren't visible, actually. There we go. Okay. So yeah, of course, a lot of our time as kids, we definitely spent running around from place to place instead of taking, teleporting. I just feel like a lot of us did not teleport. It used to be pretty crazy to see people training magic by teleporting, which is of course how I trained magic in old school. When I get money because it's efficient. I don't know, but I think it's funny because it's almost as if we've maybe invented this entire, I don't want to say genre, but this entire escapism reality for our generation that is possibly not so present even right now. I wonder if maybe instead of being birthed in our kind of time, it was both birthed and sort of laid to rest at the same time. Not to be pessimistic or cynical. I mean, it's not to say that MMOs and especially MOBAs aren't big and immersive now, but it definitely had a profound effect on my brain to be living inside, Gillianar. Of course, we have a little sea shanty here. We want to get through that. I want to overstep this psychologically, it is quite it's quite intriguing when you are looking at and sort of spatially and temporally identifying with this entirely other world. You know, instead of the one that your physical body is rooted in. I mean, you sit down, you become catatonic, you look and stare at a screen, and then much like we use our arms and legs to move around, we use... See, I'm getting off base here. You know, we use our hands to direct ourselves in the game in a very real way where, you know, we are just hitting WASD, but obviously there are neural connections that make you fluent in moving in the game by hitting WASD and all that. I know I'm a little off topic because Runescape isn't as evolved, but maybe because we were younger when we played Runescape as opposed to World of Warcraft for most people, the actual visual and map construction effects of playing Runescape as a youngin' has maybe generated a lot of creativity in my adulthood, but maybe also hindered me in a lot of ways. And I wonder if a lot of people who played the game obsessively when they were younger, like me, kind of feel the same way. Now, I don't play the game obsessively anymore, but when I'm in my periods of playing it pretty hardcore, I'm definitely, you know, I could be sitting there for 6-7 hours just focused on the game. And it's pretty intense to depersonalize from the physical location you're in, you know, say your room, or your basement, or your dorm room, you know, if you're in college. I was in college. Or when you were younger, your living room, and be totally out of touch with it, and just entirely in touch with something that may as well be as real as, I don't know, your physical reality, just in terms of neuron stimulation. This is a bit of a hardcore ramble, but if anybody is picking up what I'm tossing, I think you'll kind of agree that what I'm saying isn't total bullshit or incoherent. I guess the TLDR is maybe playing it at such a young age we became too immersed in a different world, and much like learning a language, kind of added this extra angle to our brain. But unlike learning another language, maybe it wasn't a healthy diversity in the brain. Maybe it was more of a dissociative diversity in the brain. Maybe we shouldn't be trying to sift through so many different realities. And I guess the point I was trying to make earlier when I started the ramble is that maybe aside from Final Fantasy 15 and some other MMOs, I don't think there are games where young kids are getting totally immersed into landscapes that they view as, you know, equivalent, if not superior to real life. We're not superior, but somehow more real. You know, like, this is what real life is about. It's about, you know, games, having fun. I'm just a kid. It's, you know, Runescape, WoW, Azeroth. It's intense. It's captivating. As a kid, it can become consuming and have a profound effect on your brain development. I have some education in psychology academically, but I don't have any education on this. But I would not be surprised if down the line there's a lot more fuel to study, maybe, and how, I don't know, to put it lightly, or to put it bluntly, how hardcore games like MMOs and MOBAs, games that consume thousands of hours over the course of someone's life, or years, how they have actually led to generation positive and negative ways. But you know what? I think a lot of people, of course, are going to be relating to those negative ways. You know, you think of Boogie, 2988, of course, and some of the days he talks about with, you know, EverQuest, the original MMO, and then WoW, you know, staying in his room for 12, 15, whatever, how many years without leaving. I mean, that is a total, that's total depersonalization from your reality. You really did live in those worlds. You know, that's an extreme case of an adult who underwent some pretty serious and profound psychological trauma that led to it. But when you're a kid, man, you're so susceptible to this stuff as it is. You're so susceptible to change and escapism, possibly, that, and most importantly, change, you know, neuroplasticity-wise, although that's a bit of a misuse of the term. That, you know, who really knows how you're setting yourself up to be when you're older? I didn't think that I'd have some of the depersonalization issues I suffer from now when I was a kid playing these games, but at the same time, maybe I would have developed them without such excessive playing of the games. Maybe playing the games was just more of a symptom of, you know, larger personality or whatever, you know, issues people in my boat like us, I don't know, dealt with as kids. Again, pretty extended ramble. This isn't supposed to really be about me as much as it's supposed to be about anybody who could relate to what I'm saying. And let's be honest, if you're watching this video, you're probably nostalgia soaking for this. You're probably around my age. I'm 22 years old. Some of us are pretty weird now, and it's pretty funky to think about being a kid doing the same thing that we're doing right now, which maybe our lives aren't entirely still engrossed in Runescape, but we're still coming to the same flax field, still chopping down the same trees. Maybe we're still even talking to the same people. It's all wild. It's a lot of topics to process, so hopefully I bored you into an ASMR ramble-fueled sleep. I will say I don't want this video to drag on too long. I'll have to come up with a more specific list of nostalgia trip things to do. And by that I mean I kind of want to write an actual list and maybe film a video, maybe tonight even, of better things, because this was very unscripted and experimental. I just got a couple comments recently of people who actually seem to have watched my first video. I think they enjoyed the style it was in, and like my whispering. I think I do have a very calming, effeminate whisper. Now, maybe the next one I could add a little bit more production value. Make it a little nicer on the ears. Like I said, I have been trying to get better at mixing it, balancing the audio. It's not hard, but I've been a little indiligent, and I'm obviously not too committed to this thing. I just hope I could relax a couple people when I can. Yeah, we're gonna... fuck it. I'm gonna have to block that out if I remember. I probably won't though, because I took some Klonopin prescriptions, so... yeah. Let's see, what else is there to do in Camelot other than take maybe a pretty relaxing musical journey down southwest. We could head down to Ardoin, but if anything, I feel like maybe some more of the nostalgia lies towards the barbarian outpost in the waterfall. And maybe that's where we'll end it. Maybe we'll walk to the waterfall. Here, let's get this log per hour out of the way. I don't want to look at that. I need you to look at that. It's supposed to be old school. Oh good, not wood cutting. That's great. I actually don't have my headphones on, so I cannot sound check totally what this sounds like with the music, although I know the volume itself should be pretty balanced. I definitely spent a lot of time in this area, not doing much of course, because again, some higher level content, some questing content. Fishing guild, I never had the fishing level. Archer's guild was very fun to go into the first time, but it's the Archer's guild, so there's not really much to do there, of course. My fishing is actually much better on this account than pretty much my original one at this point, I think, at 69. Yeah. We're headed there, though. I do love me some waterfall. Well, and part of the thing I'm really excited for are doing actual ASMR quest playthroughs with Rune HQ on the second monitor. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I just haven't had too much motivation to play, and again, that's not a game thing, it's just I have my phases of playing and not playing, so it is what it is. But as a result, oops, gotta keep that clout up there. As a result, I just haven't, had to film any, and I'm not gonna go out of my way to do a massive quest if I'm not really feeling it, and, make an ASMR video. If I want to do it that way, I'm gonna probably want to edit things in and out. It's whatever. But yeah, I guess we actually kind of walked through a waterfall, which is a little ridiculous. I didn't realize Voyage was up here, but I know waterfall is down there, so regardless, we'll board the raft and crash land down there. So I'm hoping we catch the music maybe down here. No, maybe. So yeah, like I said, this is more or less where I think I want to end it. Let's go talk to Rosolo, see if he has anything to say about my dragon dagger. See if he'll take it for any sizable pricing. I know he's got one of his own. Pretty cool dude, honestly. Ooh, olive oil. I didn't realize he sells these molds. But I gotta say, some of these items actually are not so bad. Yeah, alright, buddy. Alright. So I think I'll end the video there. Like I said, I hope I walked through some pretty relaxing paths for you guys. I know I didn't have really a trigger assortment, but it's okay. this better. Fuck, I still think this video should have come out better produced than some of my other ones. And I'm hoping people who found the original one will hopefully catch this one. I don't track my subscribers, but of the people who commented, I know at least one subscribed. I hope a couple other do, and they see that I'll probably try to be releasing more. I'm not gonna say high production, but you know, maybe actual slight production and planning into these videos. And if they think it's relaxing, then that's great, because like people have mentioned, there is a drought of nostalgic ASMR Runescape content out there. There's some good stuff, like this one Egyptian woman I remember listening to, who uploaded either this year or earlier last year, and she had a good aptitude for rambling ASMR. It was very nice, but none of the higher content stuff, and not to not to be ridiculous, but nobody who has been sort of as into the game as long and deep as me are really too into the video scene right now for ASMR. So yeah, I'll catch you guys later.